在法律的世界中，每一个细节都可能影响结果。我们律师事务所专注于为客户提供最专业、最可靠的法律支持。无论案件大小，我们的团队始终秉持责任与诚信，致力于为每一位客户争取最大的利益。我们的每一位律师都拥有丰富的行业经验与深厚的法律知识，他们是您值得信赖的法律伙伴。过去的成功是我们前进的动力，我们将继续为客户提供优质服务，成为您在法律道路上的坚强后盾。选择专业，选择信任。刘龙珠律师事务所。
For accepting our interview invitation, and I'm very, very excited to meet you. First question right off the bat, why did you decide to run for the assembly member of District 49?
Well, first, I wanted to do something for the community, for my people, Chinese Americans, given that half of the population in the district are either Chinese or Chinese Americans.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and secondly, I want to do something sort of for myself. You know, I do have ulterior motives.
What is your ulterior motive?
Well, in essence, is personal growth. I just wanted to see how far I can go with my life. In a sense that, you know, there's a movie called Forrest Gump. Right? Life is like a box of chocolate.
Yeah.
You will never know what's inside until you open it.
Right.
So running for the state assembly, for the 49th Assembly District, is also another attempt of opening
a box of chocolate.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. The flavor, I think it's everything.
Yeah.
In a sense that, well, first, America is very diverse. For instance, you can go to Africa. But you will never be African.
Right.
You can go to Europe. You can go to, say,
Cambodia.
France, right?
Yeah.
But you can never be a French.
Yeah.
Right? But you can go to Japan, but you will never become a Japanese person. But America is the only country where you go, you can and will become American.
Right.
So that's what distinguishes America from the rest of the world or the rest of the other countries.
So the chocolate taste like American.
Yes, and a second, I think as people say that America is land of free, home of brave, in a sense that you have every single opportunity afforded to you in America to pursue your dreams, right? In the process of pursuing those dreams, and then you discover different sort of flavors of chocolate, or different shades, different colors of what life can and will be.
What's your favorite flavor of chocolate?
Sweet.
Real chocolate.
Sweet.
Sweet?
Yes.
You like sweet chocolate?
Yes.
Do you like dark chocolate or white chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Yes.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best. Like my favorite is this Japanese chocolate. It's called Royce. You can only buy it in, I think, Irvine.
Okay.
There's like one small counter. Sorry, I had to go back to the important stuff.
Yeah.
So you're very vocal against ACA 7.
Correct.
What is your reason behind it?
Well, I think ACA 7, in essence, is a new form of discrimination.
So just for our viewers who don't know what ACA 7 is basically affirmative action.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, yes. Basically what ACA 7 does is that your ethnic background, the race, the racial background will be a factor in terms of college admissions. So in a way, it's saying that if you're of a certain race, for instance, that I'm Chinese, right? As a Chinese person, if I want to apply for colleges, universities, you know, the fact I'm Chinese will be used against me.
Why is that?
Yeah, because, well, I think the idea, though, is that the percentage of Chinese or Chinese American students in those schools in California is unproportionately high.
So we're too good.
Yes, we're very academic.
Right.
You know, we're very good students.
But we're being punished for being too good.
Yes, we're being punished for being hardworking, for being smart, for pursuing American dreams.
Right.
You know, so not only that's discrimination. I mean, the whole idea of ACA 7 is not only a slap on the faces of Chinese Americans, but also on the face of some other races, say African Americans. Basically, what ACA 7 says is that, say, as African American, right?
Yeah.
It will be easier for you, say, to get into UCLA as opposed to a Chinese person.
Why is it bad for the African Americans?
Because it's saying, basically, what it does is this. Basically, ACA 7 is saying, you are dumb. You need that extra help to be able to get into UCLA. We have to give you extra push. Although you did not earn it, but we have to give it to you. Otherwise, you cannot go to UCLA.
So you think it's patronizing to African American students?
Yes. For instance, if someone says to me, David, you know, I know you are Asian, you are middle-aged, you are chubby, right?
Yeah.
But we can play, say, a basketball game. You know, we'll give you like some extra points. Yes, saying that, you know what, I'll give some extra points. So I'm not going to see that as a compliment. I'm going to see that as an insult. If I'm not going to play with basketball or play basketball, I'm not good.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that. I don't need that extra points, extra help to win the game.
So you
see what I'm saying?
You think ACA is basically allowing African American students to be in by lowering their points is to call them dumb?
Yes, correct. Right. Precisely. That goes against, that directly contradicts what Dr. King, Martin Luther King, was proposing, you know, with his ideology. Basically, he has this famous quote saying that people should be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. But ACA 7, what it is that we are being judged by the color of our skin. Mm-hmm. You know, because if you are black, you're African American, basically ACA 7 is saying that you're dumb. That's why we have to give you extra points. But you're Chinese, we think you're too smart, so we had to make it more difficult for you.
Interesting.
You know, so to be frank with you, if I were African American, I would be offended, and I would feel insulted, as opposed to, hey, yeah, thank you for the extra points. Yeah, can I get a few more?
It's like,
right? You see what I'm saying?
It's like liberal handouts.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. For instance, like you go to a restaurant, everybody pays. So everybody pays $5 to drink the coffee. Mm-hmm. You know what? If you're black, you know, I'm gonna give it to you for free. Basically, what I'm saying though is that you're poor. That's why you don't have $5. I have to give it to you for free. Otherwise, I cannot drink the coffee.
So
you see,
African Americans should not get free coffee.
Well, I don't think African Americans think they should get free coffee. Yeah. They will pay $5 just like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? So I do think a lot of African Americans, they do see it that way. They see it the way I see it. Mm-hmm. For instance, Morgan Freeman, right?
Morgan Freeman,
yes. Yes, he agrees with me. So what happens is one time, you know, if March is like a Black History Month, right? He was asking this person that was interviewing him, that person is Jewish. He was saying that, well, do you like the idea of, having March as Black History Month? Morgan Freeman said, no, I don't. Mm-hmm. He said, what does that even mean? March is Black History Month. What about the rest of the year? Mm-hmm. Is there Jewish History Month? There isn't. Mm-hmm. Right? Why do I need a month out of the year to be Black History Month? Right? So basically, he sees it not as some sort of like a positive enforcement of like a Black history or contributions Black people made, African Americans made in throughout the history. He sees it as that Black as a race had to be singled out from the rest of the people because we're not that good, right? So I agree with Morgan Freeman. He agrees with me. But I do think a lot of people do see it that way. The difference is that most people are not as vocal as me, not as vocal as Morgan.
Let's talk about it's great that Morgan agrees with you. That was very, very good. Let's talk about being vocal. I think we have this perception about Asian Americans being the silent community, politically, historically speaking. recently we see more and more like Asian politicians, which is
Yes.
great, but still, when asked about politics, we're very like agnostic, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just like, oh, I don't care, or whatever. But this time, you ran for assembly member. You didn't win. However, you got very high support rate amongst a blue state.
Yes, yes. Actually, on the election day, on November the 5th of last year,
Yeah.
so I was at 40.5%,
Yeah.
you know, which actually was the highest amongst all Republican candidates in Los Angeles County.
So, okay,
I
interesting.
actually beat Trump. I beat Steve Garvey.
You beat Trump.
In Los Angeles County.
Yeah,
In
you
Los
should be
Angeles County.
president. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
what do you think is the message that galvanized people around you and in a blue state that give you this much support?
But I think I didn't really actually propose or anything new. What I proposed was common sense. So people should be able to go to college surely based on their merits. And I also do think, you know, children at a very young age, they should not be indoctrinated in a sense that, you know, there's this concept of gender affirmation. I think the idea is stupid, it's ridiculous, it destroys our children.
What's your stance on trans people in general?
Well, I have nothing against trans people, but I do think that children at a very young age, because there's this law, it's called AB 1955, what the law does is this. If you are of age 13 or older, right, if you want to say that you're a girl, but you feel like a boy, you know, you can get the procedure for free from the state. And also, for free. Also, the school will arrange everything. And also, the school has a legal obligation not to inform your parents.
Not to inform the legal guardian.
Correct. If the school does that or the teacher does that, that's against the law. They will go to jail for that.
Right. What do you think of the correct age for children who want to change their gender? If it's not 15 or 13, what is the age?
The way I see it,
Yeah.
I'll be very blunt. I think it needs to be at least 25. You know why?
25.
Because you have to be 21 years or older to be able to legally drink, correct?
Yes.
So
Correct.
because the idea is very simple. Because if you are, say, not 21 years old, the idea is that you are not mature enough to handle the liquor. If you get drunk, you will go out to stupid stuff, correct?
Yeah.
So I think that getting a gender alteration procedure, right? You want a big boy becomes a girl, girl becomes a boy. That's sort of like one of the biggest decisions you can make in your life, if not the most important decision, you know, because you cannot reverse it, right? There's no coming back. Once you say, you know what, I'm a dude, I decide to become a girl. After becoming a girl, you know what? I still feel like being a dude. Being a dude, I think is better, suits me better. I'm going to go back. You cannot go back. The procedure is irreversible, right? So if you had to be 21 years old to be able to legally drunk, you should be at least 25 years old, which is 4 years older, to be able to make that decision, not at the age of 13. Right? If you are like Kris Jenner, you're like 50 years old, like an old ass dude, you do whatever you want. You want to become a woman, you want to become a monkey, like be my guest. You're old enough or mature enough to be able to make that decision.
I always want to be a dinosaur. I always want to. Yeah. So speaking of that, there's recently a case. I don't know if you heard of it. In the Bay Area, there's a Japanese ninja school. They teach like know Japanese the kendo or Japanese culture and stuff like that. It's run by this guy called Jonathan Naruto or something.
Yeah.
There's a controversy there. There's a schoolboy of that school who is 15 who want to change into a busty woman.
Yeah.
Like that's like his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, they got into this argument. The school is not, you know, it's the parents are getting very upset about it. There are people who support this boy.
Yeah.
There's also people who are against it. Like, what's your take on that?
No, I think the boy should have come down. He's 15 years old. He should have waited for another 10 years until he's 25.
To be a busty woman.
No, he can make a decision if he still wants to be a busty woman. Maybe he, you know, chances are he will change his mind. Let me say it in a more direct way. The idea of having a drinking age being 21 years old. The idea is that, you know, if you are not 21 years old, you drink, you get drunk, you will do stupid stuff. What kind of stupid stuff that you should not be doing is to become a busty woman.
So you don't like busty women?
No, I have nothing against the busty women. What I'm saying though is that if you are not, you're age of 15, you should not be making that kind of decision.
Right.
That's why we have this idea of drinking age. That's why we have this idea of having a legal guardian for minors. Right. That's why we have this idea of having this law called statutory rape, right? What is statutory rape is that if you say that you're not 18 years old, you're 17, you go out, you have sex with a dude. You're not 18 years old, you're 17, the guy's 27, right? You initiated, you basically said to the guy, make me a happy woman, right? You had sex with the dude.
Make me a happy right? That's what I said the first time I did it, but go ahead.
Yeah. So what happens is that the dude will be arrested for statutory rape.
Right.
You know why? Because the law says that you are 17 years old. You are not old enough to make a decision of having sex with another person. That's the idea behind the law.
Right.
Right? So basically, you are not old enough at 15 years old to decide who do you want to have sex with. Then you are mature enough to make a decision to become a different, like a sex or gender. Come on.
Right. And
Right?
the breast is grotesque. I've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it. It's very grotesque.
Yeah.
So California has some of the highest tax in the whole nation. Like, what policy would you push to lower the tax burden in California residents?
Well, for instance, like in Los Angeles County, right, they have this new law. Basically, if you sell a home that's over $5 million, and you have to pay extra 5%. See, it's called a mansion house tax, something along those lines.
Hey, you have mentions, right?
No. What I'm
Your
saying
business
is
is very successful.
No, well, so basically, you are being punished for being rich, or you wanting to live in a big house.
I think some people,
You know?
I don't necessarily agree with them, but some people argue this is like a redistribution of wealth, so we can use that money to help like poor people. What do you think?
No, but that goes against the very idea of capitalism. The idea of capitalism, though, is that if you are able, you are smart, you work hard, and you make good money. Probably you make more money than a lot of other people, than others, right? So you can live in big houses that will be worth more than $5 million.
Yeah.
But basically, if we have this new law, the new law says, you know what, if you're rich, you live in a big mansion, we're going to punish you for doing that.
Right.
Right? So that actually contradicts the very idea of capitalism. Because if that's the case, you were saying that we should redistribute the wealth, that we probably should be like a socialist country or communist country.
We're from China. We're both from China.
Yeah. So, but that's just the reason why we're here.
True. We're not in China.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Interesting. So what would you do if you were elected, locally or nationally? We don't know.
We will get rid of the mansion tax and also all the other taxes. Let me put it this way.
What's the top 3 taxes you will get rid of?
Well, there was this one tax basically saying, well, the mansion tax is one of them. The other tax basically was saying that if you drive more miles, there's like a mileage tax. You are being punished for commuting 2 hours each way in the morning. You see what I'm saying? So basically, what kind of people who would drive long distance or who have long commute is the people who cannot afford live close to their work. They live in the suburbs. They live like in a different county, right? People who work in downtown Los Angeles, they live in Riverside. So the one-way commute is like at least 1.5 hours, 2 hours. They are being punished for being poor. So basically, that's sort of like opposite of mansion tax. But I think that people should not be punished for being either rich or being poor. Right? So you earn the money. It doesn't matter if it's you made $1 million a year, you made $10,000 a year. That's your hard-earned money. You should not be punished for the money you made.
Do you think there are certain politicians or like public figures? I'll just bring like, for example, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, or Jeff Bezos. People are arguing that they're not paying enough taxes. They're doing all kinds of attack against these people. Like, what do you think is the hidden agenda in this whole narrative?
Well, actually, that's a very good question. People like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, they pay either no tax or very little tax, right?
Yeah, that's the argument.
Yeah,
they
right.
don't pay any taxes.
So what happens is that's why they're little bitches for Democrats.
Oh,
That's
you're
why
saying Jeff
yes.
Bezos are little bitches for
Yes,
Democrats?
yes, of course, yeah.
I thought they were little bitches
yeah.
for Republican. No?
Well, they're business people.
They're still little bitches for Democrats.
Yeah, either Democrats or Republicans.
But they're bitches either way.
Yes, either way. Because you know what? Because for them, what's the most important thing is money, right?
Yeah.
They will have to do what they have to do,
Yeah.
to pay less money, pay less tax.
So do you
keep
think
the
they
money,
paid
yeah.
enough tax?
Of course not.
No? Oh, you
course
think they
not.
should pay more?
Yes,
That's very
of course.
Democrat.
Yes, no.
Are you a Republican?
No. I think they should pay more tax in a sense that because they do make a lot of money. They do make a lot of money.
Interesting.
I think that because the tax law, that very idea of tax law though, is that it's based on percentage.
Yeah,
right?
it's marginal.
The money made. Yeah, it's marginal, right?
So they should pay more.
Yes.
Do you like Elon Musk?
Yes, I do.
Okay, people have a lot of opinions about this guy.
Yes.
What is your opinion?
Well, that's actually a very good question. I like him. I think he's very direct. He's very straightforward. Like I feel like I can,
Like you and me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can relate to him in a lot of ways. But one thing I do not like about him is that the fact that allegedly he slept with Sergey Brin's wife. That was a reason for the divorce. One of the co-founders of Google.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, it's on the news. So I never asked Elon, hey, Elon, did you do it? I mean, next time you see him, you ask him, Elon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Attorney Lewis said he did it. The
Are
newspaper
you
said he
friends
did it.
with Sergey?
No, I'm not, but we have mutual friends.
So you're very upset that he slept with the wife of your mutual friend?
No, I'm very upset. I feel like that's betrayal to a friend.
To a friendship?
To a friendship. I think this is like the worst they can do to a friend.
Would you say this is the worst thing he's ever done?
I'm not saying that's the worst thing he's ever done, but as far as I know, that's something basically that doesn't sit well with me.
Did Sergey do anything? Did you beat him up?
No, I don't know. Maybe he did.
Yeah?
Maybe he did.
Make sure your mic
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I think you did on the horse video.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm just adjusting it and
Because he doesn't look. If you're Elon, you can sleep with anybody, like literally anybody. Why do you have to sleep with a friend's wife? Right?
Because he
Come on,
wants
seriously. Yeah? No,
because
like
he's a busty woman. I don't know, is she? I didn't look at the picture. Yeah.
Maybe he got drunk.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, the conservative values are under attack in this country, especially in California. And what would you do as like a demon slayer to kind of combat, this kind of attack, like to defend freedom of speech?
Like, can you give me an example, like a more specific example?
Like, for example, they're silencing people on social media. They're canceling everybody because they said something 10 years ago. They're calling people, racist because they don't necessarily agree with their liberal agenda, So that's one of the points I think Trump was claiming to liberate is freedom of speech. What is your point of view?
Well, I do think freedom of speech is very important. It's a cornerstone of U.S. Constitution. That's the First Amendment, not second or third, but the First Amendment, right?
Yeah.
Of U.S. Constitution is freedom of speech. And then the second thing, though, is that I totally agree with Trump, on his position on that. I think that people should be able to express their thoughts, their feelings, just like what we're doing right now.
Right.
I say a lot of stuff about Elon Musk, about African Americans. Probably you don't hear very often.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I do get stabbed, I'm going to blame it on you.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
You have to pay half of my medical bills.
You're a lawyer. You're really luring me up. You should not
get
have
run
sit down
over
with
by
a
a
lawyer.
Tesla.
I call you, right? If a Cybertruck
yeah.
attack me, I call you, right?
Yes, you call me.
Okay,
you call me.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? So seriously, next time I see Elon, I can say that to his face. I probably will ask him, hey, what
Did you sleep with his wife?
Yeah, what the fuck did you do that?
Why are you covering this guy?
Right.
That is so nasty of you.
Yeah,
Out of all the wives, you have to.
Yeah.
So I've seen you posting. You were at like Trump rallies and stuff like that, and you're like a big supporter of his values.
Yes.
We will say he's a controversial public figure, for sure.
For sure.
In a lot of people's eyes.
Yes.
Like, what was your feeling when you go to one of his, rally and see all the supporters? Like, how do you feel emotionally?
Well, I feel that Trump actually is a savior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating because he's a savior.
Savior.
Yes, he is a person. He probably the only person that can save America, that can save American people. Mm-hmm. I don't believe necessarily in God, but I do think.
But you believe
Trump? Yeah, Trump. I believe in Trump. Trump is very controversial, but it takes someone like him to be able to save America. Mm-hmm. That's why he was being sued so many times. He was being persecuted, like he was a rapist. He was he committed like a half of the crimes in the book, right?
Yeah.
Did
he commit those crimes? You're a lawyer.
Yeah. Tell you what. I wouldn't say no. It's very simple. If he did, he would have been in jail already.
They tried to put him in jail.
Yeah, they tried, but they failed.
Why do you think they failed?
Because the charges were made up. Because actually, I just studied all those criminal charges they filed against Trump, and it was a joke.
Right.
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
So if America is a big ship full of pirates, because remember the poem about Abraham Lincoln, oh Captain, my Captain. If America is a pirate ship that's sailing towards a mythical destination, and then let's say you're the captain of the ship.
Yes.
What would you do to make sure, we get to where we want to be?
It's very simple. I would say that for now, the biggest problem with America is that America has no common sense. Trump is trying to restore common sense to America, to American people.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's why, I think that a lot of times I think that we, like America, because, obviously we have a very good welfare system. I think in Chinese, there's a saying. They say that if you eat too much, like you get bored, you don't have to work for a living, you start doing stupid shit.
What is it? What is it?
无事生非.
无事生非.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on with America, because
They're
you don't have
full.
to. You're too
they ate
full.
too much.
You don't have to worry about going out and making a living. You don't have to worry about how to put food on the table. Mm-hmm. You become stupid. You start thinking about nonsense stuff, such as become a busty woman.
Interesting, for sure.
If that 15-year-old, he's so busy, he's like, oh man, I gotta, go do 2 hours at a McDonald's. I need to make that 50 bucks.
Let
right?
me be a dude.
Yeah, right. You know what?
I'm good.
If I'm a busty woman, I can't really work for that long, long hours.
We don't want to get into that.
Right. Yeah.
I also want to talk about your effort of
you
collected over 100,000 signatures to stop Rosemead having a homeless shelter. Is that my understanding?
Well, yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, I collected over 20,000.
20,000. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there were total 40,000, like roughly about 40,000 registered voters in Rosemead, because half of the population or half of the registered voters in Rosemead signed off on my petition.
So there are 40,000 residents in Rosemead?
Yes.
And then you got 50% of them to sign on the petition.
Correct.
What is the petition and what is the message and why?
Petition actually was to stop the building of the homeless shelter in Rosemead.
Why?
Yes. Well, actually, that was a very good question. What happened was that, the building of the homeless shelter will lead to a lot of problems. For instance, the crime will go up, and people actually did find needles like on the streets. Obviously they were very concerned for this, not only their safety but the safety of their children. So what happens? A lot of people, homeless people, are quite a big chunk of them. Actually, they are addicts.
Addicts.
Right? They have issues. They're addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
And also a lot of them have mental issues as well. I think that they should go get treated. They should go get medical treatment. They should go to, for instance, rehabs for the drug problems or drug issues, just by putting them in a facility, not only it's not going to fix anything, it's going to ruin the whole neighborhood.
Would you be into having a rehab center built in Rosemead to treat those homeless people?
Well, that's actually a very good question. No. You know why?
Then where are they going to go?
Well, that's not really the problem of people in Rosemead.
Okay, then who's the problem?
Well,
Whose problem is it?
well, it's their own. Look, here's the thing.
Yeah,
It's their own problems.
it's their own problems.
Yeah, it's very simple. A lot of the residents in Rosemead, they're Asian immigrants, people from China, people from Vietnam, right?
Yes, yes.
They worked their whole life, 20, 30, 40 years, to be able to buy a rather modest home. You know, still we have to pay the mortgage for the next 20 years.
Right.
If we have a homeless shelter in Rosemead, first of all, aside from the safety issues, the value of the house will go down by at least 10%
Because
in a week.
so the homeowners, yeah, it's going to...
In a week, right?
In a week.
In a week. I'm not exaggerating. It's very simple. Say the home is worth $10 million. 10% is $100,000. They had to work probably day in and a day out for 2 years, for 3 years to be able to save $100,000.
Right. And then the
Why
shelter
should-
there, the
yes.
value gone.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Why should they be burdened with that? So actually, I went to the city hall meeting. The meeting lasted for 11 hours. Actually, I don't know if you saw the footage.
I saw some snippets.
Yeah, it was very contentious. You know, the only thing that was missing was a fist fight.
Yeah? Did you beat up my phone?
So basically, they were saying, oh, no, they were saying that, Mr. Liu, you are a liar. I said, why is that? He said, no, they were saying that, no, they are not homeless people. I said,
Yeah.
look, I read the application. It says unhoused. I
Yeah,
said, look,
he's homeless.
yeah, I said, I looked it up. I said, the reason I looked it up because English is my second language. Unhoused means homeless. That's what Google says. I said, what does this mean?
So they
Because
said they're all
Asians, we don't
homeless.
speak English, so that's why you can trick us. Or, you know,
They're trying to trick, because this place has
Yeah.
so many Chinese people.
Yes.
They're like, oh, they don't
Yeah.
they don't know. We can just slip,
Yeah.
you know, just slip it in.
yes,
Right?
yes. So that's why they're not calling them homeless people. They're calling them unhoused people. I said, look, can someone explain to me what unhoused means? Right? I said, because English is my second language, that's why I looked it up. It says homeless.
How would you? How
Can
would,
somebody
yeah.
educate me? Maybe, you know, I was wrong. I was mistaken. You know?
How would you solve the homeless problem if not building shelters or rehab, you know, here? But they still, you know, you can't just poof, they're gone.
Yeah,
that doesn't,
yeah.
right, that doesn't happen, right? Like, what would you do to solve the
Before I
problem?
answer your question, look, this is
Yeah.
what happened. You know, in California, right? In Los Angeles, they're building this like mini homes, miniature homes, right, for homeless people.
Yeah.
So, the each miniature home, the cost of building a miniature home, actually is 20%. It's $160,000. It's $160,000. But pursuant to the budget, they're budgeting for $800,000. So where did the difference go? Where did that $640,000 go? Somebody stole their money. So meaning that homeless in California, in Los Angeles, it has become an industry. People make money off homeless people. They have to have a lot of homeless people. They're building homeless shelters. They can steal money.
So they
off
want
the
people
budget.
to be homeless.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes.
all an agenda to
Yes.
get more homeless
Yes.
people so they make more money.
yes, yes.
Wow.
And so what was really outrageous, say, you know what? So if you steal 20% of it, it's sort of understandable, 20%. No, they're stealing 80% of it.
Yeah. It's stealing of
So
it.
for each miniature home they built, they steal 4 of them.
In Chinese, there's a term
Right.
called hao yang mao.
Oh, yeah.
You can't hao too much.
Yeah.
You can rip off
They're
all the
not
wool.
Hao Yang Mao. They're Hao Yang.
Hao yang, yeah. In the Chinese term, we call it ripping the wool out of a sheep.
Yeah.
But you can't get 80%
No,
of the wool off. You'll be naked.
no, they're ripping the sheep out of the wool.
They're ripping the sheep out of the wool. So,
You're right.
so obviously you
Yeah.
don't want to steal the money. If
No.
you right.
No, of course not.
But the problems still need to get solved. Like,
Yeah.
how would you solve the homeless problem if not?
That actually is a very good question.
Yeah.
Because look, it's very simple. I think what's going on as in Chinese is saying, right? Giving someone fish, is not as good as teaching someone to fish, right? So I think what's really important is that the lot of the homeless people, they were like veterans. They need to be taken care of.
Right.
Meaning that when they're retired or discharged from the military, there should be something needs to be done to prevent them from becoming homeless.
Right.
I think that's a root of or at least of the problem.
Right.
That was what needed to be taken care of.
Teach them how to fish.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about it a lot today, but the big picture question is, we've seen a trend of a lot of Democratic supporters within the Chinese community switch camp from Democrat to Republican.
Yes.
What is the reason behind that?
You're looking at him right now.
Because of you.
Yes.
Because of you.
Yes.
They're like, I'm with this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because before election, I was holding this my campaign signs, Trump's flag, America flag. I was holding them. I was like a march up and down Huntington Drive, close to the big mall, Santa Anita Mall. A lot of people, actually, pretty much everybody, was giving me like, thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. Well, I did get a couple of, fingers, but that was fine.
Yeah. I think I read some people said their dogs on you. Is that true?
Say it again?
You said there's like some people said their dogs out or something when you were canvassing, or am I reading it wrong?
Yes. Basically, pretty much everything can think of, I have experienced it. So it was quite an interesting experience. What was most important thing though is that I know I was doing the right thing. I wasn't doing it for my personal gain or personal benefit, or aside from for personal growth, But I think I know I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That's why I have nothing to be scared of.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not scared to be a Republican in a
like
state.
people say, oh, how can you, say out loud, you're a big Trump supporter. What if you get stabbed, or what if you, get like a murder, like then what? I said, oh, well, if that's the case, that's my fate.
You're like a martyr.
Yeah, right.
For democracy.
So in Chinese, there's a saying, 生死由命，富贵在天。
生死由命，富贵在天。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Basically, your
it's all
fate,
destined.
It's all destined. So you cannot change that. Anyways, that's why.
You're destined to be this person.
Yes.
But like for all the people that you talk to,
yes.
your voters who voted for you.
Yes.
Like, what do you think is their reason, besides the respect for you and the trust in you, to switch camp?
Yeah.
Because they're fed up with the lies they've been fed to, or what is the reason?
No other reasons.
No other reason? You're just so charming. You're like, I'm in. Yeah.
No, well, if you really have to ask that question, I think the other reason, or reasons would be, I would say that they are starting to open their eyes.
Right.
Before, I think a lot of my Chinese Americans, they were being misled. They were being brainwashed. Because they
brainwashed by who?
By Democrats and some of the media outlets. Because a lot of, let's just say it this way though, people always think like Republicans hate minorities.
They
right?
don't?
Well, let me put it this way. No, at least that wasn't my experience.
You don't think the tariff on Chinese products is hating Chinese people?
No. Trump is just saying that, look, I mean, you want to sell your stuff to Americans and we wanted some benefits of that. We wanted that to be balanced. Trump is not just setting up tariffs against the Chinese government or China. Trump is doing that with everybody, with Europe, with Mexico, with Canada. Trump is doing that to everybody. Trump basically is saying that you want to sell your stuff, you sell shit in America, you got to pay tariff. As simple as that.
What if when he said like Kung flu a few years ago?
Well, he did, let me put it this way. He did say Chinese flu, right? Correct?
He also said Kung flu, which is funny, in my opinion. I wish I wrote that joke. I'm just not that talented.
Yeah, look. People always say that, 香港脚, right?
香港脚,
yeah.
Hong Kong feet means you have stinky feet.
No, but does that mean you are against the Chinese Hong Kong people?
When I say that, I am pretty against Hong Kong people. Some of their feet smells.
Yeah, right. Also, there's like Spanish flu. Like, does that mean that you're against the Hispanics because you use the term Spanish flu?
Right. So he said Kung flu has.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Trump is totally pro-Chinese, you think?
No, I don't think he's pro-Chinese. Trump actually is not
pro anything.
Pro anybody. Trump is not against anybody. Trump actually, I like Trump's mindset. His mindset is this: if it is good for America, it's good for American people. I like you. If not, I don't.
And he doesn't care what other people think.
He doesn't care what other people say. Why should you be? What other people think? How should that concern you? How should that concern you? You shouldn't, especially if you're the president of the United States. Your job is to do what is best for America, what is best for American people. You should not be giving. You should not be giving a fuck about what everybody else thinks.
Don't give a fuck. That should be your campaign slogan. I will fix America. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, correct.
Do we have enough?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, more like I will give a fuck about you, but nobody else.